Hey, what is up, YouTube? Andrew Rooney here, full-time drummer and drum teacher based right here in Auckland, New Zealand. We are back with a request for David. I'm going to read out the message here. I picked this video because I think Jeremy is one of the most innovative and exceptional drummers around. I would go as far as to say his combination of chops and phrasing is far beyond any drummers alive today. Drums may not be a competition, but it makes me sad that he doesn't get the broad recognition other drummers do. So I hope this video, beyond being enjoyable for you and the audience, helps change that. Best, David. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the link right here. And it is the Jeremy Dutton Quartet in 2021. Wow, just looking at the image that's popped up on the timestamp that you've given me, David. It was a different time. The masks and yeah, let's too soon. Let's not go there just yet. And as David said rightly in his message, it breaks my heart as well. There are just so many incredible players out there. So what we need to do is go straight along to the subscribe button. Subscribe here. I realize I don't think this is Jeremy's YouTube channel, but I'm going to put the link to the original video in the description of the video. Like all my videos, please do go along, support the channel that is linked, and also please do go and check out Jeremy Dutton. Oh, I can see here, Jeremy Dutton is the drummer. It's his quartet. Charles Altura, G, guitar. James Francie, P, piano. Matt Brewer, B, bass. All right, let's check it out. And really important, make sure you got your coffee ready. If you're watching my channel and we're going to be watching jazz, if you do not have a coffee ready to go, now is your time.
A damn fine cup of coffee.
And if you do not make a coffee at all, shame on you. Extinguish your flame and you're voted off the island. Anyway, Jeremy Dutton Quartet. I don't even know what the song is, but we're just going to hit it from the timestamp. Here we go. I don't want to stop this. We'll talk at the end. Call and response. Piano, guitar. And drums. All of them. Four-way conversation. It's a little bit out of sync, but hang in there. Doesn't look out of sync. Solo in over a vamp if you're confused. Drum solo over a vamp. And he is throwing every mod and poly at them he can. Oh. All right, so we'll leave it there. The video link that you will see in the description of this video, it looks like it's an entire set. So it's 3 hours 24, this video. So please do go along and check it out. Wow. Wow. Now, a couple of things right off the top. I can imagine somebody watching this video in 20 years going, what the masks, COVID, obviously. And also the audience looked very sparse, very sparse. I noticed, I think I could only see 2 people and they were like well spaced apart. Obviously, it's not that everybody doesn't want to go and see the Jeremy Dutton Quartet. We had the distancing thing, so I'm assuming that's what's going on here. And some clubs were opening their doors for like 10, 15 people. And I'm assuming this was perhaps like a live streaming thing to, again, try and work through that really odd time that we went through in 2020, 21, 2021. Yeah, that was it, wasn't it? Yikes. Now, this video is not going to be for everybody. I think, and I feel like I can say this as someone who went to jazz school, that I get it. I get it. The melody here, for me as well, it was hard to grasp onto. I didn't recognize the song. It might be an original from the group or from Jeremy Dutton. I'm not sure. It could be an original, in which case, yeah, it's gonna take a while to get a hold of the melody. And then if you don't know the melody, it can be a bit hard to know what they're going for in terms of comping and like soloing and about sort of what they're going for. So I get it. It's not really meant to be for everybody, I don't think. And I don't think it's not for everybody in like an exclusive kind of way, like, oh, you're not part of the gang, you don't get what we're throwing down here, so you're not hip. I don't think it's like that. It's definitely more in the sense of you've got four phenomenal musicians who are really stretching themselves and really going for it. Really going for it. They knew where they were. Like the control of time and bending the time and throwing in crazy polys and getting like really out there on the chordal and solo material. Like these guys know what's going on. Yeah, it can be hard to sink your teeth into. I think one thing that possibly could help, if you've made it this far into the video and you're sitting there going, okay, Andrew, you explain to us what's going on. Why should we check this out? I mean, this is not to say that's, obviously some people watch this and really dig it. But for the people who are not accustomed to hearing real deal jazz, this is real deal jazz. Typically, what you have in a jazz performance is like, we call it a head, or you'll have a lead sheet, and it's just typically a very simple, very like skeletal system of chords and basic melody through those chordal changes. It could be 32 bars, 16 bars, 12 bars, 10 bars, doesn't matter. It's just a system of movement of chords. Okay? And typically what will happen, this is where people get really confused with jazz. Typically what will happen at a jazz gig, because after a while they're just playing and people will say, oh, they're all just soloing at the same time. Oh, they're all just playing anything. Oh, this and that. They're not. They're working through and exploring and finding all the nooks and crannies in this lead sheet or in this head and this melody and this series of chord changes. They're exploring it. Not in a commercial way, not in a number one selling riff type of way, in a musical interpretation and conversational type of way. So these four people on the stage are having a musical conversation with those agreed upon chord changes. Hopefully that's somewhat explained to any of the non-jazzers out there, at least a little bit what's going on. You could think of it like, if we get a little bit arty here, perhaps you could think of it like you've gone to see this musical performance, and it's just a blank canvas and someone's just going to improvise some art on it right in front of you. Compare that to you've studied a certain artist or a certain piece of art your entire life, and then you go to the art gallery and you see it. You know what to expect, you're not disappointed, you're not surprised, it just is what it is, and you get to see it and you enjoy it. And this can be a little bit what it's like, not downplaying the fun and the importance of rock and pop and all that, but that can be what it's like. You go with certain expectations and it delivered and it was a fun night and everybody played great and you had a great time. This is a little bit different. It's a lot different. There isn't as much for your ear to grab onto. There's not as much repetition. There still is repetition. There's just not as much of it. So it's constantly changing. It's a conversation. It would be really weird in a jazz setting if you just said the same thing over and over, like in a conversation, like if you just kept saying the same sentence to someone repeatedly for 4 minutes, they're going to think you're crazy. And that's why we would not do it in a jazz gig, right? It's a developing conversation. You say this, I'm going to say this back to you. Oh, you're saying that? I'm going to say this back to you. And then I'm going to put in this. You weren't expecting that. That'll elevate it over here, or that'll take it over there. It is so dependent on the personality and the chops and the abilities of the players. So this is super intriguing. I mean, I'm tempted to just put on this whole concert, put it on, check it out, and hopefully you guys can do that. And please do go along and check out the Jeremy Dutton Quartet. This is super, super hip stuff. And David, thank you so much for requesting it. This is a completely different request. Even drumming style, this real deal, legit jazz drumming style. It's going to look so unusual to the people who aren't hip to it. Like all of the light shading, the huge range of dynamics, really triple P snare rolls right into like rim shots and everything in between, and just on that real simple kit. So melodic, so musical on such a small kit. So I absolutely loved it. Again, David, thank you so much for this pick. Please do check out the original video link in the description. And guys, I will catch you on the next one. Take it easy. Ciao.